why did you let me go on the floor like that? It was so bad.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ballroom Dance is My Sport. We have a really special interview for you guys today. I'm here with Rickie Taylor Dubovyk, and we are going to discuss hair and makeup in ballroom. Hello, Rickie. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to be here today and just talk about any hair and makeup questions or thoughts that you have and let you know what I think about it.
Okay, so let's get to know you a little bit before we dive into some questions that our viewers had. So the first one is, how old were you when you first started ballroom dancing?
I started ballroom dancing when I was 4 years old, and I started competing when I was 6 years old.
So you started as a preteen. You've been on the
My
entire
whole life.
Okay, and then at what stage in that did you start to get into the beauty side of ballroom, like hair and makeup and all that?
Ever since I can remember, literally even before dancing, I was obsessed with makeup. I always wanted to play with it. And then obviously when you're younger in competitions, they don't really allow you to wear makeup. So I never really wore makeup. And then my mom would always be doing my hair. She learned how to do hair very well because she had 3 dancing daughters. She had to do 3 people's hair every single time we had a competition. She learned how to do my hair, so I never had to worry about it. And then once we went to junior one, when you like it's open and you have to wear makeup, my mom was comfortable with my hair, but not with my makeup. And I feel like she did my makeup like once or twice in
Yeah.
those competitions, and she didn't like it. I didn't like it. She was like, okay, you got to learn how to do it, or you got to pay for somebody else to do it. And when I was in junior one, I'm not going to come up with like $100 to pay somebody. So I'm like, okay, it's a good thing that I like makeup. So then I just went onto YouTube. I started watching tons and tons of videos of like any makeup I could find and just like trying it on myself when I was about, I would say 12, 13.
Wow. So you started at a very young age doing your own hair and makeup.
Yes, there are photos from early competitions where I've done my makeup and I'm like, why did you let me go on the floor like that? It was so bad. But we all have to start somewhere, so I definitely don't regret it.
Exactly. And then you started doing makeup for other people as well, right?
Yes, I started doing makeup for other people. I believe the first time I had my client, a first client, I think I was about 16, and I wasn't even like advertising it or anything. Like I didn't have a page yet or anything like that. They just knew me. They saw me from my YouTube videos, and they asked me if I could do their makeup at a certain competition in Canada, actually. And I remember her. I did her makeup for 2 days. I was so happy with it. She was happy with it. And then from there, when I was 17, I made my Rickie T Beauty page and started advertising like late 17, early into when I was 18 years old, going to comps, and like literally anybody who would want me to do their makeup can just make an appointment, and started doing makeup on other people.
Wow, that's a very interesting story. It's fun to see how you've grown. Do you feel like it's different to do makeup on other people versus yourself? Do you prefer one or the other?
I think it's very, very difficult to learn how to do other people's makeup when you're so used to doing your own makeup. I was used to looking in the mirror for like years, studying my face and learning what looks good on it and how to work around it. And then the first few times I had to do other people's makeup, it was so hard because I realized what I do on me doesn't always work on somebody else, or maybe they don't like that style. They want something completely different. So there was definitely a learning curve of the transition of skill that I learned to do on myself and the skills it takes to do other people's faces, which look completely differently on and off the floor. So yeah, I would, if I said I have to prefer something, I would prefer myself just because that's what I'm more used to. And I've had so much more practice, but I really do enjoy doing other people's makeup, especially when they're happy. And that's the most important thing. I am so happy when they end up being happy with the makeup, because then they feel more confident and like ready to go out on the floor and really express themselves. So yeah, I like that part too.
Now that we've kind of gotten to know you a little bit, let's talk about your opinions. So we're
Okay.
going to start talking with preteens because a lot of our audience is parents of preteen dancers. So preteens aren't necessarily allowed to wear makeup. So we're going to start with hair. What hairstyles do you see on preteens that you think look best for preteens in competitions?
better. If you are doing your child's hair or if you're paying somebody to do your child's hair, I think the most important thing is no matter what style you're doing, whether it's high, low, intricate, simple, it needs to be done well. I think that's for any level, but especially in preteens, like you see all the best dressed preteens, their dresses are perfectly pristine, simple, clean cut, nice color, classic. I feel like that's a really good way to go when you're in preteen. You want the whole look to match. So definitely, oh, trust me, I've had like many messy hairstyles. So don't feel like it's gonna like, there's so many people who have that struggle, but to be as clean as possible in what you're doing, do that. And if you only know how to do the most simple hairstyle, but you're doing it clean, stick to that because that is going to look better 10 times out of 10 more than trying to do something more creative, but it's not clean because as much as we don't want to admit it, the judges see the hair. They see if it's clean or if it's not clean. So anything that can be executed well is what I really, really recommend for preteens.
Okay, now preteens, technically in a lot of rules, they say they're not allowed to wear makeup, but some preteen parents like to break the rules a little bit. What are your thoughts on preteens who wear just a little bit of makeup when they compete?
I think that, to be honest, it's perfectly fine. Because first of all, when you're wearing such little makeup and you're on the floor, the judges literally don't even notice it. Like, even I don't notice it unless I'm looking at a preteen very close. When I was a preteen, my mom would always put a little bit of mascara on me, a little bit of lip gloss. That's pretty much it, just two steps. Um, but yeah, I definitely think like if you have certain features, like for me, growing up, if you look at any photos, my eyebrows are so light compared to the rest of my hair. So if you have something like that and it might bother you and you might want to fill your eyebrows in or fill your child's eyebrows in just a little bit to kind of like make them stand out on the floor, put a little bit of mascara to open the eyes a little bit, I definitely don't think that's like so terribly bending the rules because I think we've all done it. And it's just kind of enhancing what is there and not necessarily changing what is there.
I see. And what about fake tan? Do you feel like that's changing what is there or that's enhancing what is there?
I would say fake tan is a very personal decision. I don't think that I ever faked tan until I went into open. So yeah, my whole preteen child career, I never fake tanned. I didn't like it. And I think my mom just didn't want to put it on me. I think that when you're in preteens, it's definitely not necessary. If someone is going to tan their daughter or their son, I don't really see anything wrong with it, but nobody wants it to look like super unnatural, especially on a small child. So I think if you decide to go with that, it's not bad, but it does not need to be as dramatic as if you're in an open category because we're like making our skin like 5, 6 shades darker. I would not recommend that for a preteen. And just my experience is that I don't think it's necessary in the first place, but it's completely up to you.
So when you are watching competitions or like seeing videos of preteens, are there any things that like are pet peeves for you or things that like really upset you about the way that a preteen looks?
I would say the only thing is like it's kind of hard to like over sexualize a preteen, I would say, because we have so many dress rules. I would say that's more for like when you're going into junior, like very, very early junior stages. I don't like it when the girls are overly sexualized, literally right out of preteen. There needs to be some sort of like transition between closed and fully open. Sometimes it just annoys me when people like they're fresh out of preteen and they just want to be like fully open everything. I think that's not super tasteful, not super classy. But that's like more my vibe is to be classy. So that's why I'm a little bit more uncomfortable with it. If we're talking specifically about preteens, there's nothing really that like annoys me about how they look as long as they um look. The only thing that would annoy me is like if you could tell like they didn't want to be there and their mom is like forcing them to be there and forcing them to be perfect and go practice and have the perfect hair, the perfect makeup, and like stressing the child out. That's never a good thing. And I think we've all seen that a few times at comps. It's like, I just like seeing happy preteens, whether they're tall, short, hair up, hair down, makeup, no makeup. I just like to see them being happy when they go on the floor. So that's the most important thing to me.
So you briefly talked a little bit about that transition from preteen to junior and how you shouldn't take that big leap of getting into full adult mode once you get into junior. If we talk specifically about makeup, do you think that there's like a middle ground between like preteen no makeup or light makeup and full on makeup? And do you think that junior, like junior one, should stay in that range?
I definitely think that there is a middle ground. You can do literally anything with makeup. So especially when I get younger clients that are in junior one and junior two, I'm not going to do something, even if the parent asks me for something like dramatic and glam and glitter. You can definitely still do that, but on a more appropriate level than what you would do if you were in a pro Latin final. Like there's definitely some things that you can do to like slightly tone it down and make it look a little bit more age suitable for a junior one or junior two girl. I definitely recommend kind of staying in that kind of transitional area a little bit for your dress, for your makeup, because nobody wants to see a 12-year-old girl go out there with 7 pounds of makeup, super, super, super dark tan, and a really, really open dress. Like, I don't think anybody's comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely ways that you can like intertwine things that you do want, but still make it more age appropriate. And that's what I would definitely recommend for all junior age girls just coming out of preteen.
Okay, I think that's some great advice. What trends do you see right now in hair and makeup that you would say if someone's maybe just starting out, they want to try to do their own hair and makeup, what trends do you think they should kind of see and follow?
Well, definitely the trend that is timeless is the middle part low bun, sleeked back, and just like a nice dark smoky eye with red lipstick. Pretty much that can go with almost any dress that you wear, guaranteed. A lot of the makeup will come from like personality and styling, what you feel like you want to do on that day. But if you're just starting out, you definitely, I would recommend getting down the basics. It's like a darker, more dramatic eye makeup look and a very simple hairstyle. And then the wave, the gel wave is super, super in again. I remember it was in like 10 years ago, and now it's back for Latin and for standard. So I would definitely recommend practicing that. It's basically all the same basis of the low bun. You just have to have a sectioned part in the front and kind of practice working that on the face, how you like to shape it. That would be really beneficial for you basically in any competition. And then, of course, it would be great if you knew how to do like a sleek high hairstyle. High hairstyles are more classically known for on the ballroom side, but they can definitely be used in Latin as well. But yeah, definitely if you're looking for a good rounded options to choose from, the low bun, the gel wave, and then some sort of high hairstyle, whether you want to make it fancy or not fancy, just having those two different options would be really great. And then for makeup, yeah, definitely kind of a darker, more dramatic look. And then a brighter, what I would call more of like a standard eye, which is very bright and open and light and not as deep as what we would maybe see as like a Latin smoky eye. And those two, as long as you have those two, you can basically change them into almost anything you want for any look, but having those two is a great basis to start with.
Okay, and one final question that I have for you. We have a lot of parents that are wanting to get started in hair and makeup. We also have a lot of young viewers who kind of they're in your situation where they're going into junior and open and they want to kind of experiment and try new things. What advice would you have for them, for the people who are just starting out?
I would say that definitely use any resources that you have. When I was teaching myself, I used YouTube. I used anything and everything that I could find on the internet. That's the entire reason that I started my YouTube page. I have a few hair tutorials on there. I have loads of makeup tutorials because I personally love makeup a lot more. I'm much more passionate about it. So I have tons of tutorials for beginners, for more advanced tutorials, super dramatic, super light. Um, Use whatever you can find. Ask people that you know, coaches or whatever, if they have like any tips or tricks for you. The biggest thing is going to be practice, 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 which nobody wants to hear. It's the same thing in dancing. Like, how are you going to get better? You just have to go to the studio and practice. So it's the same thing with your hair and makeup, whether you're somebody who's younger and you're trying to learn how to do on yourself, or you're a parent or you're a coach watching this who wants to learn how to do it on a student or a child. One resource that is out now that I didn't have when I was learning it is there's just one UK-based hair and makeup stylist. Her name is Stephanie Noon, and she has an Instagram page, Styled by Steph. She was briefly in America for a few years, and she competed around the States, so some people may know her, have heard of her before. She's a very high-level competitor, and she has had her styling brand Style by Steph for a few years now. And she has recently, throughout the last year of coronavirus, she's come out with courses on her website, like mini courses and full courses, which are very, very, very reasonably priced, where she is showing you like step by step 3 full makeup looks and 3 full hairstyle looks. She is very talented. She is very like, she knows what she's doing. She's done my hair many times for competitions. I always trust her with my hair. And yeah, if you just look at her Instagram page, you will see everything that she can do. And it's so great that she's made these into courses, because I've never heard of there being a ballroom hair and makeup course that you can just buy online and you can watch full length real time videos of a hairstylist and a makeup artist telling you what they're doing. The closest thing we have is YouTube, but there's no courses on there. So definitely, if you're looking for a step-by-step, she has amazing resources. You could go to her website, her Facebook page, or her Instagram page. She has everything linked there, and you can choose like any course, mini courses. Yeah, and like I said before, they're very reasonably priced, and I think they're just a great resource for anybody who's wants to learn how to do hair and makeup.
That's great. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful advice today. I think there's a lot that everyone of all ages can learn from what you've discussed today. So I will be linking all of Rickie's socials in the description box down below. If you want to go check her out, check out her YouTube page, her Instagram. She's always posting new videos. I love them so much. Thank you so much, Rickie, for joining us. We are so lucky to have you.
Of course. Thank you so much for inviting me today. I absolutely loved answering questions and sharing whatever knowledge and helpful advice that I could today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.